All right, folks, I hope you're ready to start having some fun, or at least gambling a little bit more with our precious XRP. And we need to understand the AMM, automated market maker, that is coming to the XRP ledger, the implications, not only for us little guys playing around, but also the institutional DeFi that is coming to the XRP ledger. This is absolutely massive. Now, as you can see behind me, we are also printing some fat green candles, Bitcoin back up to 42,000. And I want to get right on into this update with you guys here. Let's get this party started. All right, so as you can see, Bitcoin back up to 42,000, Ethereum back up to 2,258, and your BNB back above 300, Solana back above 90. Basically just green candles across the board, and our XRP back up here to 53 cents. Absolutely love to see it, okay? A little bit of recovery, and hopefully this will lighten our moods. With that being said, though, we got to consider, right? Green candles on the chart while the world around us is going through absolute chaos. And this is why we've been saying, set your intentions, control your energy, and bring order to the chaos around us. And also, we might need to pray for peace. Let's get right on into it. United States to station nuclear weapons in the UK for the first time in 15 years. Now, this comes after the UK, one of their senior leaders within their army, has been talking about actually getting the civilian population ready to fight. You know, we need to arm the civilians and get them ready for war. So on the worldwide stage, right, we have significant developments taking place here, escalating the World War III events that have already been going on. And this is really starting to pick up here. Once again, we trace this back to the currency and the commodity war, so critical. And when we bring it back home, what we're seeing right now is internal chaos as well. All part of a falling empire where you get caught up in too many skirmishes, you're on too many battlefronts out trying to expand the empire, and then you get internal chaos within, and that's what we're seeing as well right now too. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says 10 other states have sent National Guard troops to the Texas border. Abbott says that over 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed the southern border since 2020. He says this is more than the population of 33 different states. Abbott said he would be shocked if all 25 states supporting Texas do not send National Guard troops. And Texas claims that it has the authority under the Constitution to protect itself. This is escalating very quickly, and he just did an exclusive interview with Tucker Carlson where he said that they're willing to engage with federal authorities. This is getting crazy, and this is why I just dropped an exclusive Patreon Discord update where I spoke on these points a little bit more in depth, because this gets a little touchy out here on YouTube. And so I went to the private group Patreon Discord update. That was an exclusive, uncensored update where I talked about what Klaus Schwab has to say about us. Basically, we need to just bend over and take it as far as giving up all of our privacy. We talked about the internal chaos here and really what's getting set up. And we also read through the FBI has now sent a document to our Congress. And this is 2 senior FBI officials that are saying that this threat is getting very serious. But of course, this is politically incorrect. This is a very sensitive, touchy subject. And as we enter this election cycle, I'm going to have to be dropping more content on the exclusive private Patreon group, because we just can't talk about a lot of this stuff on the public platforms. It's an absolute shame. And it's an absolute shame how they are setting up our country for complete failure. And we're talking about this one right here, a statement from President Joe Biden on the decision to pause pending approvals of liquefied natural gas exports. So once again, as we're trying to get our economy going here again, we're trying to bring manufacturing back here, and we're trying to use the natural resources and commodities that we have here, and we're trying to be able to export them, make a little bit of money, we're shutting it down. For whatever reason, we saw what happened to Europe, right, over the last couple winters, the struggle that they've had as they cut off importing Russian natural gas, right? And that led to an energy crisis in Europe. And now we're playing the same game here. This is dealing with our exports. But once again, how do we get our economy growing if they won't even let us, mine it, produce it, export it, and bring to the world what we need, which is to use these natural resources and commodities. Canada going through the same thing. And I was just up there in Vancouver Resource Investment Conference learning all about it. And this comes back to the point that the fight against inflation, we have talking head pundits like Paul Krugman trying to say that the fight against inflation is over. And it's not over. They have not won it. They papered it over with fake, phony, manipulated data. But it's only going to get worse, as we've been highlighting how in the Suez Canal, in the Red Sea, we're having little skirmishes, and now even Navy protected ships, U.S. Navy protected ships, cannot pass through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal without getting attacked, without missiles coming on. And this is going to lead to supply chain. It's going to lead to inflation. And when we look back at this situation back home, we're dealing with talking head pundits like Paul Krugman, who I believe has won a Nobel Prize for his fantastic work. And he says a tale of two inflation measures. Some analysis are still citing the blue line when they should be citing the red line. This is professional malpractice. And he's talking about using core CPI versus core PCE, 6-month annualized versus the core CPI on a year-over-year basis. He says using annual core CPI puts you way behind the curve for two reasons. First, annual, even core CPI was 4.6% in the first half of 2023, 3.2% in the second half. Second, known lags in official shelter prices lagging far behind market rents. Now, rents are dropping, right? And yeah, that's going to bring inflation down, but you also have to look on the other side of that coin, which is a real estate reset. Not good for anybody. And he says, so annual CPI creates a spurious impression of stubborn inflation with a difficult last mile to cover. PCE puts a lower weight on shelter and on shorter term basis tells us that we've already traveled that last mile. The inflation battle is over. Now we need to worry that lagged effects of rate hikes will tip us into an unnecessary recession. It's an unnecessary one. No, it's just what we're going into. It's what we're already in. If you ask anybody, if you talk to any business owner, if you go to fill up the pump, you go to the grocery store, or you go to renew the rent, even though rents are coming down, which to his point, right, lagging inflation shelter data, which is rents. Yes, rents are coming down, but you got to compound it. You got to compound the inflation. And so when you go to a website like True Inflation, which I think gives you a little bit better data, you look at the aggregate, the compounded aggregate inflation since 2020, we're still way above. And so if inflation, prices have gone up 50 to 100% since 2020, but now we're coming back down and inflation's only 2.5 or 3% year over year, or with his data of the 6-month annualized. And remember, he's the one that wants to use the super core. So we have core CPI. We have the Fed's inflation gauge, their preferred one, which is core PCE, because it strips out a couple of the, I think it's, what does it strip out? It strips out energy and shelter, something like that. But that's not enough for Paul Krugman and these other economists, talking head pundits. They want to go to the super core, which strips out food, energy, shelter, used cars, auto insurance, everything that matters. And when you do that, you're just looking at it through delusional lenses. But this is what the talking head pundits are doing to make it paper over and make it seem like everything's A-OK when we know it's not. Now let's continue on here. The final point here that I wanted to get into is this one from our good friend, Digital Asset Investor. And this highlights the institutional DeFi that is coming to the XRP ledger. And we get the insight coming here when we take a look at Ripple hiring a senior manager for business development and institutional DeFi. Now, this is out of their New York offices, and you can see right here what they're looking to do. The key responsibilities, you read through this, and you read through to this one. Drive cryptocurrencies-related ETFs initiatives with internal trading teams and relevant partners. So, as I've been saying, there is going to be XRP ETFs. That does not make XRP a security. Many people confused about how ETFs work. You can put currencies, commodities, and whatever the heck you want in an ETF. You can put a trading strategy in an ETF, like the breakfast ETF that buys, stocks in companies that produce breakfast products. Literally, you can get a breakfast ETF. I'm not kidding you. So yes, you can put currencies, commodities, trading strategies, whatever the heck you want into an ETF. There already is XRP ETPs in Europe, in Switzerland. We've covered that. And there are going to be ETFs coming here to the United States. And as you are seeing right here, they are looking, what was the title of this one? Let me pull it up again. Let me back up here. Sorry. Senior Manager, Business Development, Institutional DeFi. That is the title of this position. And what are we getting closer to? That would be the AMM, the automated money maker, as David calls it, or the automated market maker. And you have to understand, this is different from staking. This is you becoming a market maker by putting your assets into these liquidity pools so that you are providing liquidity. You are becoming a market maker, and it's done so in a decentralized way through the ledger. That's why it's called an automatic market maker. And so this is coming for us to take advantage of, and this is coming at the highest levels for institutional partners that Ripple has. And you can see that they have a key focus on institutional DeFi, and they are going to be helping these institutions who want to roll out ETFs get their hands on the underlying asset XRP. And we've seen Grayscale adding XRP back to their large cap fund. I would bet a lot of money that large cap fund, which includes XRP, is going to be rolled on into an ETF eventually, right? And you're going to see BlackRock come for it. Obviously, Larry Fink says, that he can't comment on it, which was a dead giveaway. A dead giveaway. With Robbie Mitchnick leaving Ripple to go be head of digital assets at BlackRock. We know that there's connections there. We know there's connections with Ripple in all of Wall Street, all of the largest banks and all of the largest institutions in the world. So finally, we get some green candles. That's a little bit of excitement, right? I'm not ready to say that we've entered into the next bull run just quite yet. It's good to see some green candles. But as I dropped in the video this morning, Bank of England providing clarity on how banks and institutions, commercial banks in the UK, can report their digital asset holdings. Now, how are we supposed to flip the switch if we don't even have reporting standards, right? If we don't even have custody solutions? And so the Bank of England, as I reported this morning, they've given the green light for digital assets. They've now provided the clarity for how banks can report the digital assets on their balance sheet. We know that Ripple just acquired Medico, which is key for custody solutions. So you got institutional custody, institutional DeFi, and the AMM is the secret sauce for the XRP ledger, creating the best source for liquidity in the world. And you bet that Ripple is going to be spearheading this development. So much more on the way. If you appreciate our updates, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling about the green candles being printed and the AMM on the way. We've now also hit the threshold for the clawback amendment, which is so critical. The clawback is a feature for issued assets on the XRP ledger. So you will not be able to claw back an XRP transaction, but an issuer, say Circle, right? And this is the type of caliber of talent that's going to be coming to the XRP ledger now. Circle is going to come to the XRP ledger. They're going to issue USDC, and they are going to enable clawback feature so that they can claw back transactions. It's absolutely necessary. As we, see many of these enterprise solutions require that clawback amendment. We now have that. And so the caliber of institutions and businesses that are going to be coming to the XRP ledger, now that we have clawbacks, we obviously got NFTs, now we're going to get the AMM, which is going to open up the floodgates of DeFi on a lower level for Joe Blows like myself, and all the way up to the institutional level. This is a beautiful thing. As we enter the next bull run, XRP is perfectly positioned. If you appreciate our content, like I said, please help me by sharing it out far and wide. I appreciate all of you guys. Everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com, including our most recent Patreon exclusive update. We're going to be dropping a lot more of those as it's going to get sensitive. It's going to get a little crazy as we go through this next election cycle. God bless all of you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.